Hello there and welcome to this micro lesson on compression. Today we're going to be looking at compression in the OCR computing specification. Hopefully by the end of this we'll have an idea of what happens with compression. So learning objective will be that all of you will be able to understand what compression is. Most of you will be able to explain the benefits and different types of compression, and some will be able to relate the ideas of compression to websites. So compression is a noun. It's the act of compressing or being compressed. So the idea of being able to take a file and making it the size of it, measured normally in kilobytes, smaller. Compression is useful. So for example, if you think about images on websites, for example Pinterest and Instagram, if those images aren't compressed, they're going to take up a lot of bandwidth, which straight away means if you're taking up a lot of bandwidth, it's going to be slower to load. And also think about the bandwidth on both the user of the website's point of view and also from the website runner as well, because they want to make sure their bandwidth is as small as possible. If we think about videos on YouTube, they want to make sure that they're compressed as possible to save their bandwidth, and audio on Spotify as well. And if you think about all these different ideas of compressing something, whether it's an image, whether it's a video, whether it's audio, think about your mobile data that you use up looking at images on Facebook or watching YouTube or listening to audio. Think how much data that takes up. You want to make sure that you use as less data as possible, and that's where compression comes into play. So, first activity for you is to state what compression is, describe why compression is used, and to explain some of the benefits of compressing files on a website such as Facebook. Feel free to pause the video here, because now we're going to look at the answers. So, let's look at some of the answers. So, state what compression is. Compression is the act of making something smaller. Describe why compression is used. Files need to be as small as possible in order to reduce time it takes to load a file and to ensure data is used as optimally as possible. And you can see there the benefits of compressing files on a website as well. If you've got answers similar to that, give yourself a pat on the back. So there's two types of compression that we need to be looking at, and I've got the two of them on this slide here. There's lossy and lossless. Lossy compression removes data where it's acceptable to do so. So if you have a look at the two images which we've got there of the lovely sunset, one of the images on the left hand side is at 100% quality, and if you can see the file size, 75 kilobytes, and then we can see the one on the right hand side, 13 kilobytes, but the quality has gone reduced from 100% to 45%. Because there's such a small image, it's really hard to see some of the differences between the pair of them. So that is where the idea of compression is acceptable. Lossless makes the file smaller without losing the information. So a lossy removes the data physically from the file, so the data goes away. Lossless makes a file smaller without losing the information. You can go back to how it originally looks. And you can see an example from this, from the two different rows of colour blocks we've got here. We've got one slightly brown, we've got 3 blue, 2 yellow, 3 red and 1 black. And at the moment that's taking up a large amount of data. That's taking up potentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pieces of data. But you can see we can replicate it much more easily if we have a look at the row below. So we've got the one brown, we've then got one blue square with the number 3, the yellow square with the number 2, the red square with the number 3, and the one black square. So we've taken the idea of having that large area, this large piece of data, and we've made it smaller, because if you look at that, you know, and if you can tell the program to know, that if there's a blue square with the number 3 in it, it needs to replicate it 3 times until it hits the next square. So, some more activities for you to do, and again, feel free to pause the video. State features of lossless compression. Describe what lossy and lossless compression are, and explain the benefits of lossless compression. I'll give you a few seconds to pause the video. And now let's look at some answers. So, state the features of lossless compression. Lossless compression type makes files smaller without losing the information. Sorry, there's a typo on the slide there. Describe what lossless and lossy compression are. Lossy compression removes the data from the file to reduce file size, whereas lossless compression makes files smaller by avoiding data duplication. So if we think about the data duplication on here, we can see that the 3 blue squares are duplicated 3 times. If we can only have them the 1 time, fantastic. And then we can see there the benefits of lossless compression. I hope this video has been helpful for you. Feel free to like, comment and subscribe, and good luck for your exams. Bye bye.